Are you ready to meditate with Cory? I have a very, very, very exciting story to tell you today. I'm so excited. I'm so excited that I need to calm down. It's super cool. But to calm down, I need to take just a couple of breaths and calm myself down so I can tell you nice and slowly all about my special story today. Do you want to take a couple of breaths with me? Make sure you're laying down. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Nice deep breath in and out. See, I can feel that working already. One more time. Nice deep breath and out. There we go. Now I'm all calm. I want to tell you a story about a little boy called Max. Max was going shopping one day with his daddy. He needed new shoes. They were walking through the store and they needed to go in the elevator so that they could get to the 6th floor, and that's where they sold shoes. They got inside the elevator along with a couple of other people. One of them was an old gentleman that stood right next to my dad, or right next to Max's dad, I should say. He was wearing a hat and he had a nice smile with a big, fluffy mustache that was all white and silver. Max thought he looked like a nice old man. Anyway, they got inside the elevator and Max was watching people all gather in, and then the door closed, and then there were the buttons on the right. And there were lots of different buttons, and he counted them really quickly, and they went all the way up to 20. But there was one special button that had a picture of a cupcake on it. Cupcake button, Max thought. That's a bit strange. So he tugged on his dad's arm, he tugged on his coat and said, "Daddy, can we go to the cupcake floor? Can we go to the one that has the cupcake on?" And his dad said, "Just a minute, Max, just a minute." And he carried on talking to the old man with the big white fluffy mustache. He wasn't really paying much attention to Max. So Max tried again. He tugged on the sleeve of his dad's arm and he said, "Dad, I want to go to the floor that has the cupcake button." And his dad looked at the buttons. "What, Max?" He was all confused. Like his dad couldn't see a cupcake button. And he said, "Max, be quiet, I'm talking. Be quiet, just hold on a minute, son." And he carried on talking to the old man. Before you know it, Max looked around to see if anybody was watching. No one was paying attention to him. He reached forward, his little tiny finger, and he pressed on the button that apparently only he could see that had a cupcake on it. The elevator started to jiggle a little bit and move. And he could feel the sensations as if his body was moving up. So he knew the elevator was moving. He didn't know which way. He could have been going sideways for all he knew. And then all of a sudden there was a ping! And the door opened very slowly. And outside, all of a sudden, all these bright lights and colours came at Max's face, and all these delicious smells. All the sensations seemed to hit him at once, and he was like, "What?" And he took a nice deep breath, and he could smell like vanilla and almond, and he definitely could smell cupcakes and cakes, and he could smell chocolate. He could smell all these different flavors, and he opened his eyes and he looked over to his left, and there was a big, giant gummy bear with a smiling face looking down at him, and he said, "Well, welcome, Sir Max. We've been waiting on your arrival." Max looked at the gummy bear and thought, "A gummy bear that talks? This is kinda cool. Follow me, my young son. We have things planned for you today." Max stepped out of the elevator onto the grass that felt like grass, but it wasn't grass. It was spiky green frosting. Ha! How cool is this? He thought. I'm walking on frosting. And he could feel it squishing underneath his feet. And when he looked back, he could see his footprints. And he could see big, giant gummy bear footprints. And he was like, this is just so cool. They carried on walking forward. And he started to notice that everything around him seemed to be made of something that was edible. There were flowers that were big and tall, and then they had these big brown round circles on top, and he accidentally knocked one while he was walking past, and it popped open just like a chocolate orange with all these different individual pieces, and it looked just like a flower. He stepped over a puddle that he thought was a puddle, but it wasn't a puddle. It was a peanut butter cup that looked just like a puddle. He carried on walking, following the big gummy bear, and off in the distance he saw that there was a giant house. It had smoke coming out of the roof, but the whole entire house wasn't like a regular house. It was a house that was made of a giant cupcake. And the frosting that you would normally get on a cupcake was the roof of the house. And then on the sides of the cupcake, there was a doorway and 2 windows so that you could go inside the house. That was a giant cupcake. And when he looked to his left and he looked to his right, there were big giant hills, and the hills were covered in all different shades and types of frosting. There was strawberry cheesecake frosting, there was chocolate frosting, there was espresso frosting and lemon frosting, and they were all different shades on the hills. And he looked at the gummy bear and he said, "Where am I?" "Well, Max, you are in Cupcake Valley. Welcome to Cupcake Valley, my little friend." Cool, thought Max. Wait till I tell all my friends about this place. Max kept following the gummy bear until they got directly in front of the giant cupcake house. "This is where I leave you, my little friend. Someone is waiting inside
that's very, very important in this valley. She has a couple of messages just for you."
"Oh, okay," said Max. And the gummy bear walked away, and Max knocked on the door. And when he knocked on the door, he realized the door, the whole door, the entire door, was made of chocolate. Oh my goodness. I wonder if I just scratch a little bit off, I can have a snack, he thought. Would anybody notice? But just as he was thinking that, the door opened widely. And inside was a giant cupcake-looking lady. She was shaped like a cupcake. She looked like a cupcake. Her hair was white on top like vanilla frosting. She had pink lips that were made from some kind of licorice sticks. Her eyes looked like chocolate buttons. And she had a very, very nice, happy smile. And she said, "Max, welcome. My name is Mama Cupcake. You are coming into my giant cupcake, and I have some special treats just for you." "Oh, okay. Hello, Mama Cupcake," he said. So he followed her into the house. It was the coolest house he had ever seen. The house was round, first of all. It wasn't square like most houses. It was round, like you would think a cupcake house would be. But on the walls, he looked around very slowly, taking his time, and he noticed that there must have been over 1,000 jars, glass jars, on shelves, all over the walls. And in every single jar was a different type of topping or different type of ingredient to make cupcakes. He slowly started to walk around the room. You name it, it was in those jars. Jelly beans, Tootsies, M&Ms, all the different things that you could possibly put on top of a cupcake was in that room. It was glorious. "I have something very special for you," she said. "First of all, let's fix that pooly finger of yours." And Max lifted his right hand and looked at the first finger on his right hand and thought, how did Mama Cupcake know I had a boo-boo? How did she know I cut my finger playing the other day? She just knew. It was like magic. "Come over here," she said. "Come sit by me. I have just the topping for that." She took down one of the jars and sat down on a big couch. That was not a couch, of course. It was a marshmallow, a giant pink and white marshmallow couch, and it was extremely comfortable. He sat down and held his hand out, and Mama Cupcake sprinkled "Boo Boo Be Gone" sprinkles onto his finger. That's what it said on the jar, "Boo Boo Be Gone," because he read it and he saw it and he was like, "What? Seriously? This is going to get rid of my boo-boo?" It just looked like rainbow-colored sprinkles to him. He'd seen rainbow-colored sprinkles on cupcakes before, and, he wasn't really impressed. They were not his favorite topping. But he let Mama Cupcake do her thing, and she sprinkled the "Boo Boo Be Gone" sprinkles on his finger, and by golly, his boo-boo was gone. "What? That is so cool," he said. with the biggest smile he'd had all day. That is so cool. Yes, she said, I know. I have something else for you here as well that's very, very special. I've been told that you have a little sister. And I've been told, said Mama Cupcake, that sometimes you don't like your sister very much. Max looked a little bit ashamed of himself, but she was telling the truth. He did love his little sister, but sometimes she really got on his nerves. Yes, that's true, said Max. Well, I have something here that will help you with that, she said. She stood up, walked over to one of the shelves, and took down what looked like a jar that had red things in. She walked back over to the marshmallow couch, sat down, which made Max kind of puff up a little bit when she sat down, which was fun because it was like being on a trampoline. Anyway, she sat down, she opened the jar and took out a pair of cherry lips. Cherry lips, he thought. I've not seen those in a long time. What they were like candy, and they were made out of like a red, hard, like a chewy jelly type of thing. Like a gummy bear, but a little bit harder. And they were shaped like lips, and they were cherry flavor. And he knew all this because he'd had them before. She gave him one of the cherry lips, and she said, when you eat your cherry lips, you will find that every day from now on until eternity, you will want to kiss your little sister at least once a day, Max. And every time you kiss her, you'll be reminded of how much you love her, even if she's a little bit annoying. So, eat your cherry lips. Max thought about this for a moment and thought, do I really want to kiss my little sister every day from now until eternity? That might be quite painful, he thought. But he decided that since Mama Cupcake was so good with his boo-boo, she knew what she was doing. So he ate the cherry lips. And he was very happy about it because he was a little bit hungry. And they tasted very, very good. Finally, she said, I have one last thing for you. One last thing that's just for you. Your very own cupcake. Now tell me, Max, what's your favorite cupcake? He thought, this is difficult. I have so many, he said. I have so many favorites. You only get one, she said. Just think of that special one. So he sat on the marshmallow couch and he pondered and he thought about it. And he said, I've got it. My favorite cupcake is a lemon cupcake. It's lemon-flavored cake with lemonade-flavored icing. And inside it has a big splodge of lemon curd. Wait for it, he said. And then on top of all of that, slight drizzle of golden syrup. She said, "You have good cupcake taste. I like how you think, Max. I like your flavor of cupcake." She started to do something very, very strange. She started to spin. And when she span, everything about her kind of glittered and glimmered as if she was going at the speed of light. And she span, and she must have span round like 3, 4, 5 times and then stopped very quickly. And then she lifted up a waffle cone hat that she was wearing, which looked just like a cone, an ice cream cone, but she was wearing it upside down, so the point was at the top. It looked very strange, but Max didn't say anything. She lifted up the waffle cone hat. "Ta-da!" she said. And there on top of her white frosting hair was the yellow lemon cupcake with lemonade icing, lemon curd in the center, and golden syrup on top. It looked delicious. She reached up to her head and grabbed a hold of the cupcake and handed it to Max. "There you go, Max," she said. "Now it's time for you to leave. I have lots to do, lots to bake, lots to make. Come back and see me sometime, okay?" Oh, okay. Thank you, Mama Cupcake." He got shuffled out of her cupcake house, and he found himself back on the path where the gummy bear was waiting for him to escort him back to the escalator. On his way back, he started to eat the cupcake. It was honestly the best lemon cupcake he had ever had. He enjoyed every single crumb. He did ask if Gummy Bear wanted some of the cupcake, but Gummy said, "No, thank you, I only eat gummies." So he ate the entire cupcake to himself. Ping! The elevator door opened. He stepped inside. It closed again. And then all of a sudden, Max heard, "Max, come on, Max. Come on, we have to get off. We're here. We're at floor 6. Come on, Max." Max was kind of dazed, a little bit shaken. He had to blink a couple of times, and it was as if he just drifted off somewhere else in his mind. And he looked up at his dad, and the old man stepped out onto the 6th floor, and Max was pulled out by his dad with his hand onto the 6th floor, and he was surrounded by shoes, and he was just very... What just happened? And his dad said, "Max, what have you got all over your face?" And he reached down and wiped the corner of Max's mouth, and you know what was there, don't you? Lemonade frosting. "Oh," Max said, it must be toothpaste. It must be toothpaste, Dad." "You are a messy pup, Max," his dad said. And they went off onto the 6th floor to get new shoes. Now, how cool is that? Max got to go to Cupcake Valley. How cool is that? I don't know about you, but I'm kind of sleepy and tired. Time to relax. time to let my whole body get very, very sleepy and comfy in bed. My toes, my ankles, my legs are very, very sleepy. My knees, my thighs, my hips are all comfy and warm and sleepy. My belly, my back, my chest, my entire body feels very, very heavy and sleepy. That was such a cool story about Max, wasn't it? I think I'd like to go to Cupcake Land, Cupcake Valley. Maybe I'll be able to go when I go to sleep. I can go in my dreams. That would be nice. I think my favorite cupcake is strawberry cheesecake flavor. What's your favorite cupcake? Sounds good. My shoulders, my arms, my hands are all very, very sleepy. My neck, my head feels heavy and sleepy. Everything feels sleepy, in fact. I just want to go to sleep. I'm so tired. I'm going to have sweet, sweet dreams all about cupcakes. I might even see Mama Cupcake. I wonder if she spins and makes me a strawberry cheesecake cupcake. Oh, that would be cool. I think I'll just go to sleep.